Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Well, here we go again. You know, all these activist leftoids wonder why we're such skeptics in a lot of these situations. They wonder why we question the official narrative upon release, why we wait for more information to drop before coming to a conclusion, as if that's a bad thing. Well, it's probably because the same thing happens over and over again. It's kind of like a been there, done that situation. If there was an actual long, extensive documented history of minority folk essentially being gunned down in the streets for no apparent reason, like LeBron James suggested, if that was actually the case, then probably, maybe we'd be a little bit more generous or maybe a little bit more susceptible to believe the headline on face value, but it's never like that. I'm sure there's some leftoids who are red in the face right now, their brain's about to implode. Well, that's exactly what happens. There is a history of that, but obviously there isn't. Even the George Floyd situation, which is the most high profile, probably the best example that they have, even that one isn't anywhere close to definitive. There are so many factors and honestly so many facts that point to Derek Chauvin's innocence. The reality is that the facts don't align with the leftist narrative. In other words, or maybe in more direct layman terms, they're generally full of crap. Those claiming victimhood are demonizing police officers as some sort of KKK hit squad. Well, they're frankly full of crap, and here we go yet again. Another one of those situations where the activists and even the families of this supposed victim, well, they're straight up lying, as per usual in the most malicious of fashion, in an attempt to demonize these police officers and really throw their lives away. Let's bring some clarity to the haze. We've got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so we have another police encounter that has ended deadly, and of course the leftist journalists are already working very hard to craft their narrative. Here's a piece from the Washington Post. Police fire 96 shots in 41 seconds, killing black man during traffic stop. Now, that headline is written like that on purpose. 96 shots, 41 seconds, and they're killing a black man. No context. Automatically, the leftist mind reads that headline and perceives the individual as a victim. Then, of course, they use this photo of the young man, presumably trying to paint the individual as an academic, just a young kid that these brutal police officers murdered in cold blood. And yup, you guessed it, that's the exact narrative that leftists on Twitter are attempting to push, but the reality, as per usual, if you look into the details, is completely counter to the narrative that these activist types are pushing forward, along with this individual's family and legal team. There's so many of these articles that are purposely written in this fashion. Chicago police tactical teams again under scrutiny after fatal shooting of Dexter Reed. Police reform experts argue units have a long history of abuse in Chicago and have not been effective in fighting crime. So essentially, if you were to get your news from mainstream media sources, you would think that the police officers did something wrong. And if you were to listen to the family, you'd get that exact same impression.
Just bought his new car 3 days before that. And he was just riding around in his car. He said, "Mom, I'm going for a ride." And they killed him. They killed him.
But then, of course, there's reality. I can't exactly show you guys the clip of the incident itself. You can search for the body cam footage if you'd like. It's going to take 2 seconds to find it. Maybe I could play a heavily, not redacted, but censored version. I'm going to have to blur the actual action.
March 21st, 2024. Chicago police are initiating a traffic stop on a driver reportedly for not wearing a seatbelt, according to the Civilian Office of Police Accountability. A traffic stop being conducted by 5 tactical officers.
Roll the window down. What are you doing?
Roll this one down.
Roll that one down too. Hey, don't roll the window up. Don't roll the window up.
Okay.
Do not roll the window up.
Do not
Unlock the doors now.
The temperature quickly escalates. One officer puts what appears to be his gun on the windshield. Reed then fires first, hitting an officer in the forearm, according to the initial investigation. Then, chaos.
Essentially what happened is you had a routine traffic stop, and then the individual who was stopped just started indiscriminately firing at the police officers, shooting at the police officers with a deadly weapon during a routine stop. He refused to lower his window, cooperate, and just started shooting. That is a victim according to the left. It's absolutely mind-boggling stuff. The narrative is, according to the family, as you heard in the earlier clip, that Dexter Reed was just riding around in his car, and police officers just shot him. This stuff is unreal. Leftist activist Groundhog Day, once again, defending the indefensible. And speaking of indefensible, the arguments coming from the family's attorney, as well as Dexter Reed's family members, I think it's his uncle, it's prime facepalm material. Just take a look at this CNN exclusive.
He's already dead. Why you study shooting him like that? They killed my son and they killed me too.
One of the family's attorneys argues this never should have happened in the first place.
There was a weapon recovered in his car. However, it started with an unconstitutional, pretextual, and unnecessary stop of Dexter Reed. And that's what precipitated the entire incident.
Stop my nephew, he'll be alive today.
Reed's uncle sitting alongside his father.
When this happened to my nephew, I hope the police can understand that this is the same pain that they feel when an officer is killed in the line of duty.
It's a pain that manifests in memories and pain that manifests in despair.
They took my son away from me. He ain't got that no more. I don't know what I'm gonna do without him. And I just wish that I could talk to him one more time. But to see him gunned down, I never ever thought that it'd be him. I never thought that it'd be him. I never thought that it would be him.
Absolutely unreal. Apparently the issue here, the real problem, is that Dexter Reed was pulled over in the first place. Quote, "If you don't stop my nephew, he would be alive today." And the attorney said it was an unconstitutional, pretextual, and unnecessary stop. That's where the conversation has gone. I don't know if we're just moving goalposts at this point, but just having listened to those arguments, I've lost 100 IQ points. You know, this is where we are in clown world, where Juicy Smollett is a victim and where Dexter Reed is a victim of Chicago's abusive police force. Even in the most generous of environments, what they're saying is utterly ridiculous. Even if the traffic stop was unconstitutional, unnecessary, and pretextual, even if that was the case, does that justify shooting police officers with the intent to kill? Obviously not. We're once again in a situation where Democrats are defending criminals, where we're supposed to feel bad for a thug who met his end after he attempted to murder police officers on duty. Yeah, I think I'm gonna pass on that one. I think most people would probably pass on that one. The only unfortunate thing is that most people don't know what really happened, because due to the duplicitous actions of the mainstream media and the leftist activist base, they're so incredibly desperate to justify their actions, or probably better said, to justify their narrative, that they're willing to completely lie, completely misrepresent what happened, all in the name of promoting this narrative that racist white cops are just hunting innocent black people in the streets. The fact of the matter is it's not happening, and if we're being generous, certainly not in the way that the left suggests it is, not even close, not even 5%, and they prove it time and time again by just how desperate they are to have one news story. The simple reality is, the facts aren't there, it simply isn't happening, and that's why they're so desperate to jump on these news stories. That's why they were so desperate to jump on the Juicy Smollett situation, but of course their desperation time and time again proves how truly dishonest they are. There's no police brutality story here, but there is a whole lot of left-wing dishonesty, and really such malicious dishonesty. Imagine being the police officer or the police officers in that situation. Imagine lying about those police officers and attempting to paint them as racist killers. I can't think of anything more unethical. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Just wanted to insert myself and counter the leftist narrative, add some clarity to the situation. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.